Hey everybody, Jason Schneider here, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you the #1 hypnotic language pattern that you can use as just a communicator. You don't have to be a hypnotist. That will leave people feeling better around you. It's going to leave you feeling more resourceful, and it's actually quite easy, natural, and authentic for you to use. So stay tuned. So this language pattern is something that I hear almost on a daily basis. And when I hear people speaking in this way, I have to kind of just roll my eyes and I literally say out loud, I go, thank God you're not my hypnotist. And the worst part about it is that quite a few times the people using this pattern with me actually were hypnotists. So you're going to be ahead of the game when I share this with you. And what the pattern is it's the pattern of using negation. So using negation in your language effectively. And let me give you an example here. So the typical example that people use is don't think of a purple elephant. So don't think of a purple elephant. And what do? You have to kind of open up the filing cabinet of your mind, pull up a purple elephant in order to know what not to think about, right? And that's how negation works, is when we say don't blah, 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 the person has to kind of open up the filing cabinets in their mind of blah, 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 in order to understand what not to do or not to think about. And I had an experience of this just recently with a client of mine who's a health coach, and we were giving feedback over one of his group coaching calls that he had recorded. And in the call, he had given a piece of advice to one of his clients. And after that, he followed it up by saying, and even if you feel like a complete fraud, I want you to go out and do this. So think about that for a moment. Even if you feel like a complete fraud, if you tell someone that, even if you feel like a complete fraud, what do they have to do? They have to open up the filing cabinet of their mind. They have to pull up experiences of the past of what it means to be a complete fraud. At the very least, they have to think about it, but at the most, they're going to actually re-experience that feeling in the moment as you communicate that to them as a communicator. And notice the effect that that's going to have on their state. And the question is that what's best for them? And is that what you're trying to communicate with them as a communicator? Because then you're going to, if that's not your intention, if your intention is for this person to be resourceful and actually take action, then your unconscious communications are actually contradicting your conscious communications. And at the end of the day, nobody wants that. That's not good for anybody. And so what was my advice for him in that specific situation? Well, one way you could communicate that more effectively is to say, even if you don't feel 100% congruent, I want you to go out and do that. So notice the difference. Even if you feel like a complete fraud, I want you to go out and do that. Versus, even if you don't feel 100% congruent, I want you to go and do that. Notice how even you can notice how that feels differently. So this is the power of negation, because whatever follows a don't or a no or a not, the person still has to think about it, represent it in their mind, and at least somewhat partially experience that. In which case you might be actually sabotaging, you might actually not be communicating with the person 100% in the way that you want to do it. And so my advice for you is to do what I just did right there, is when you notice yourself talking in a way that is less than resourceful, just rewind and say not, and then frame it in the opposite way. So instead of being sad, you're not happy. Instead of being frustrated, you're not handling this perfectly, right? And when you communicate with people in this way, especially yourself, you're going to notice that you feel a lot better, the people around you feel a lot better, and at the end of the day, you're communicating the same messages. It's not inauthentic. You're actually communicating what you mean to communicate. You're not avoiding the problems, right? You're actually communicating in a way that just frames them, the problems, in a way that's a little bit more resourceful. So go out into the world and practice this. I trust that as you begin to communicate with people using negations more effectively, so that you will find that you're either great or you're not great yet. And I trust that the people around you will also be feeling the same. So If you have anybody that you think could benefit from this message, please share this video. If you'd like to get updates on my latest NLP and neurosemantics and coaching videos, subscribe to the channel. Feel free to check out my website where I have a whole wealth of a free knowledge base in this field at perceptionacademy.com. And I hope to see you in a future video. Go out there and practice this and let me know what you think.